Good morning, Little Masters, and welcome back to today's Tolkien Times, a Prancing Pony podcast production. I'm the Man of the West. It's time to keep Week 81 going with Túrin Turambar Tuesday. Now, last week, we watched helplessly as Beleg met his tragic end, and we accompanied Gwindor as he did what he could to help Túrin as they found their way to Nargothrond. This week, Túrin takes yet another name, actually 3, I think, and we meet Gwindor's old flame, Finduilas. At first, his own people did not know Gwindor, who went out young and strong, and returned now seeming as one of the aged among mortal men because of his torments and his labors. But Finduilas, daughter of Orodreth the king, knew him and welcomed him, for she had loved him before the Nirnaeth, and so greatly did Gwindor love her beauty that he named her Faelivrin, which is the gleam of the sun on the pools of Ivrin. For Gwindor's sake, Túrin was admitted with him into Nargothrond, and he dwelt there in honor. But when Gwindor would tell his name, Túrin checked him, saying, "I am Agarwain, the son of Umarth, which is the blood-stained son of ill-fate, a hunter in the woods." And the elves of Nargothrond questioned him no more. In the time that followed, Túrin grew high in favor with Orodreth, and well-nigh all hearts were turned to him in Nargothrond. For he was young, and only now reached his full manhood, and he was in truth the son of Morwen Elethwin to look upon, dark-haired and pale-skinned with grey eyes, and his face more beautiful than any other among mortal men in the elder days. His speech and bearing were that of the ancient kingdom of Doriath, and even among the elves he might be taken for one from the great houses of the Noldor. Therefore many called him Adanathel, the Elfman. The sword Anglachel was forged anew for him by cunning smiths of Nargothrond, and though ever black its edges shone with pale fire, and he named it Gurthang, Iron of Death. So great was his prowess and skill in warfare on the confines of the guarded plain, that he himself became known as Mormagil, the Black Sword. And the elves said, "The Mormagil cannot be slain save by mischance, or an evil arrow from afar." Therefore they gave him dwarf mail to guard him, and in a grim mood he found also in the armories a dwarf mask all gilded, and he put it on before battle, and his enemies fled before his face. Then the heart of Finduilas was turned from Gwindor, and against her will her love was given to Túrin. But Túrin did not perceive what had befallen. And being torn in heart, Finduilas became sorrowful, and she grew wan and silent. But Gwindor sat in dark thought, and on a time he spoke to Finduilas, saying, "Daughter of the house of Finarfin, let no grief lie between us. For though Morgoth has laid my life in ruin, you still I love. Go whither love leads you. Yet beware, it is not fitting that the elder children of Ilúvatar should wed with the younger, nor is it wise, for they are brief and soon pass, to leave us in widowhood while the world lasts. Neither will fate suffer it, unless it be once or twice only, for some high cause of doom that we do not perceive. But this man is not barren. A doom indeed lies on him, as seeing eyes may well read in him, but a dark doom. Enter not into it, and if you will, your love shall betray you to bitterness and death. For hearken to me, though he be indeed Agarwain, son of Umarth, his right name is Túrin, son of Húrin, whom Morgoth holds in Angband, and whose kin he has cursed. Doubt not the power of Morgoth Bauglir. Is it not written in me?" Then Finduilas sat long in thought, but at the last she said only, "Túrin, son of Húrin, loves me not, nor will." Now, when Túrin learnt from Finduilas of what had passed, he was wrathful, and he said to Gwindor, "In love I hold you for rescue and safe keeping, but now you have done ill to me, friend, to betray my right name, and call my doom upon me, from which I would lie hid." But Gwindor answered, "The doom lies in yourself, not in your name." When it became known to Orodreth that the Mormagil was in truth the son of Húrin Thalion, he gave him great honor, and Túrin became mighty among the people of Nargothrond. But he had no liking for their manner of warfare, of ambush and stealth and secret arrow, and he yearned for brave strokes and battle in the open, and his counsels weighed with the king ever the longer the more. In those days the elves of Nargothrond forsook their secrecy and went openly to battle, and great store of weapons were made. And by the counsel of Túrin, the Noldor built a mighty bridge over the Narog from the doors of Felagund, for the swifter passage of their arms. Then the servants of Angband were driven out of all the land between Narog and Sirion eastward, and westward to the Nending and the desolate Falas. And though Gwindor spoke ever against Túrin in the council of the king, holding it an ill policy, he fell into dishonor, and none heeded him, for his strength was small, and he was no longer forward in arms. Thus Nargothrond was revealed to the wrath and hatred of Morgoth. But still at Túrin's prayer his true name was not spoken, and though the fame of his deeds came into Doriath and to the ears of Thingol, rumor spoke only of the black sword of Nargothrond. In that time of respite and hope, when because of the deeds of the Mormagil the power of Morgoth was stemmed west of Sirion, Morwen fled at last from Dorloman with Nienor, her daughter, and adventured the long journey to Thingol's halls. There new grief awaited her, for she found Túrin gone, and to Doriath there had come no tidings since the dragon helm had vanished from the lands west of Sirion. But Morwen remained in Doriath with Nienor as guests of Thingol and Melian, and were treated with honor. Man, this is rough. I mean, the Finduilas situation only gets rougher, folks, but it is hard to see Gwindor kind of paid back for his kindness with this. And I'm not blaming it on Túrin. I mean, it just is what it is, but oof. Now, I mentioned that Túrin takes another name, but he takes 3 new names. Agarwayan, the son of Umarth, the blood-stained son of Ill-Fate, Adarathel, the Elfman, and the Mormagil, the Black Sword. And he's not done with names, of course. We'll see those in future weeks. Then there's the heartbreaking bit about him keeping his name secret, in order, he thinks, to prevent or delay calling his doom upon himself. But in doing so, he loses out on word of where he is reaching his family. Had Thingol learned that the Mormagil was Túrin, then when Morwen and Nienor arrived in Doriath, he could have done something, found a way maybe to reunite them. But this is just one of many little steps that will lead to all the sorrowful tragedy of this tale. Now, we also have the building of the bridge here, which we'll learn next week is not such a great idea. We'll talk about that then, though. For now, that wraps up this week's Turambar Tuesday. We'll be continuing this story for all of Series 11 as well, so join me then as messengers from Ulmo deliver counsel to Orodreth, and Túrin's pride sets the stage for disaster. In the meantime, please visit patreon.com/TolkienTimes to learn how you can join the Content Council, be a part of deciding what I talk about next series. You can also support the show, get an ad-free feed, bonus episodes, and more. Please, folks, join me again tomorrow on today's Tolkien Times for Word Nerd Wednesday. And podcast listeners, subscribe to the show in your podcast apps. For those on YouTube, subscribe to the channel to get all of the PPP productions, including the PPP plays. And be sure you're following @PrancingPonyPod on social media. Finally, as Faramir says, go with the goodwill of all good men.